All right, let's get into it. Today, we are going deep on one of the most basic, most universal human experiences conflict. We're going to pull it apart, look at its hidden structures, understand its emotional core, and then, most importantly, map out a path to not just ending a fight, but actually healing from it. You know the feeling, right? We've all been there. An argument just completely spirals out of control, or a little disagreement suddenly feels intensely personal. But what is actually happening under the surface? Beneath all that anger and frustration? Okay, let's find out. So, to start, we need a tool. We need a way to see beyond the shouting match. We're going to look at a framework that basically acts like an X ray, showing us the hidden bones of any conflict. Let's make this real. Conflict resolution expert Myra Dugan tells this story about a big confrontation at a high school. Some white students showed up wearing jackets with the Confederate flag, and a fight broke out with a group of black students. Physically, nobody was seriously hurt. But emotionally, the damage was huge, inflicting these deep wounds that spread way beyond just the boys who threw the punches. Now, the easy thing to do would be to say, oh, it was a fight about a flag. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? That flag was a symbol, for sure, but it was channeling something so much bigger, so much more painful. So to see those deeper layers, we can use this amazing framework from Mary Dugan. It's called the nested model of conflict. Honestly, the best way to think about it is like those Russian nesting dolls. It shows how any single fight, any one issue, actually exists inside all these bigger contexts, all happening at the same time. Okay, so let's break down that school fight using the model. At the very center, the smallest stall, is the issue-specific conflict. That's the fight itself. But nested right around that, you've got the relational layer, the busted trust and the bad blood between these student groups. Then you zoom out again and you see the subsystem. That's the school itself, its history with race, its culture, and then the biggest doll of all, the structural level. That's the whole societal backdrop of racism in America. See? That one fight was really about all four of these layers firing at once. So understanding the structure is one thing. That's super helpful. But it doesn't really explain that gut punch feeling, does it? That deep, personal wound that comes from being in a conflict. So what is the human element that makes it hurt so damn much? Well, the answer, according to Dr. Donna Hicks from Harvard, comes down to this single, incredibly powerful idea. It's the concept that explains exactly why conflict feels so personal, and that idea is dignity. So what exactly is dignity? Dr. Hicks defines it as our inherent value. It's not something you have to earn, it's your birthright. It's the simple but profound truth that you matter. But here's the kicker. It is vulnerable. It can be wounded. And this right here is a really crucial distinction to make, the difference between dignity and respect. I mean, we use these words like they're the same thing all the time, but they are fundamentally different. Dignity is totally unconditional. You treat everyone with dignity just because they're human, period. Respect, on the other hand, is conditional. That has to be earned through actions. So you might not respect what someone did, but you still have to honor their inherent dignity. To really feel what a dignity violation is like, listen to this story about a man named Rami. He was an Egyptian American who wanted to work on the 2008 Obama campaign, but he felt he couldn't. He was worried that his identity as a Muslim would be used to attack the candidate. Dr. Hicks pointed out to him that this wasn't just about politics. No, this was a massive violation of his dignity. It was a message that who he was, at his very core, was something that needed to be hidden away. And the impact of these violations? It's impossible to overstate. Hicks talks about the work of a psychiatrist named James Gilligan, who interviewed murderers in maximum security prisons. When he asked them why they killed, the most common answer he got was, because I was disrespected. These aren't just minor insults we're talking about. They're attacks on someone's very identity, and they feel like, in Gilligan's words, gunshot wounds to the heart. Okay, so if dignity violations are the wound, then what's the medicine? Well, it turns out the path to healing lies in something incredibly powerful, just human understanding. I know, this probably sounds impossible. I mean, how can two people who literally tried to kill each other ever find peace? Well, let's look at this incredible story of two men from the conflict in Northern Ireland. So you have Malcolm, a former British police officer, and you have Ronnie, a former IRA member who shot Malcolm and left him for dead. 30 years later, they met face to face. And after hearing Ronnie's story about growing up surrounded by oppression and violence, Malcolm didn't offer forgiveness. He offered something way more powerful. He offered understanding. He looked at Ronnie and said if I had grown up under the same circumstances, I would have done the same thing. Wow. That one act from Malcolm, honoring Ronnie's experience, his dignity, it completely changed everything. Ronnie's hard exterior just melted. He looked at the man he almost killed and said that. In that one moment, the whole cycle of hate was broken. Not by winning an argument, not by some court's idea of justice, but by a simple, profound act of empathy. They honored each other's dignity. That story just gives you chills, right? It's such a testament to what's possible. But you might be wondering, is there a structured way to get there? And the answer is yes. That incredible moment of understanding wasn't just a lucky break. It can actually be built through a practical process we call mediation. Now, mediation isn't about some third party coming in and telling you what to do. Not at all. It's a tool that empowers people to solve their own fights. Think of it like a roadmap, a structured process that can guide you from hostility all the way to a real agreement. The process usually has 4 stages. First up is the introduction. This is all about making the space feel safe and setting some ground rules. The second stage, storytelling, is really the heart of it all. Just like with Malcolm and Ronnie, each person gets to tell their story without being interrupted, which is how you build understanding. Third is problem solving, where the focus shifts from the past to the future, brainstorming solutions together. And finally, the agreement, where you lock in a solution that's actually realistic and can last. And this really gets to the true goal of mediation. It's not just about getting a signature on a piece of paper. The real goal is transformation. It's about trying to repair the relationship underneath and rebuild that trust so the same fight doesn't just pop up again down the road. So, we've looked at the structure of conflict, the emotional core of dignity, and a process for resolution. But all of this, every bit of it, rests on one final essential foundation, our own inner state of being. The Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh reminds us that peace isn't passive. It's not just what's left over when the fighting stops. No, it's an active practice. It's something we have to actively cultivate inside ourselves every single day. He uses this beautiful metaphor of a garden. He says our minds have all kinds of seeds in them, seeds of anger, fear, and violence, but also seeds of compassion and understanding. The key is choosing which seeds we're going to water. And that means being mindful of the shows we watch, the conversations we have, even the thoughts we let run wild in our heads. It is a daily choice to actively feed the seeds of kindness, and we can even ask the people we love to help us do it. And that really brings us to the final question, the one question that takes all this theory and brings it right back to you, right here, right now. After exploring the deepest conflicts and the most profound reconciliations, it really all boils down to this one simple daily choice. So, which seeds are you watering today?